I was really a failure. Like really a failure. Like I dropped out of college to make music, but then I stopped making music. I mean, like really like just, like not even an epic failure, just sort of like a sad, pathetic failure, just like kind of a real epic failure you could get behind. Like I tried this big thing and it failed and I lost everything. No, I just kind of like frittered my years away doing nothing and being in dead-end relationships and dead-end bands and stuff.
Look at this graph. This bar is life. This is 0. This is when you were a baby. 76 years old. I know it's sad, but that's the average life expectancy for a man in the US. I am currently 31% through my life. So I guess the question is, why do I feel like I'm like right here? First off, I want to apologize for the terrible lighting and what probably will be terrible audio. I'm filming this in an empty house, and I didn't realize how bad of an idea this would be until I started doing it. There's something interesting that I've been thinking about recently, and that is the fact that, you know the song Losing My Edge? You know this James Murphy guy, LCD Soundsystem? Let's take a look at his life. So James Murphy of LCD Soundsystem was 32 when he made Losing My Edge, which is about like right, you know, probably like right here, right? 42% of his life was over. And then he made Losing My Edge, which was the thing that kind of kicked off his career. Let me put it this way, okay? We saw all these fucking stories, all right, about famous people that are young, you know? Cameron Winter of Geese is the same fucking age as me, dude. And he's got like this psyop thing going on. Alyssa Liu, the Olympic skater, she's like fucking 23 or something, right? Give me some more names. Anybody? Anyone got some names? David Byrne from Talking Heads made Talking Heads 77 when he was 24, dude. In your 20s, I feel like there's like this unbelievable amount of pressure to have everything figured out. The fact of the matter is that no one's got that shit figured out. And I think it's even worse when you're an artist trying to do something creative, right? If you're an artist and you're trying to do something creative, I think it feels even more worse when you're reaching this threshold. You know, at some point you feel like you need to like throw in the towel, you know, because at some point you gotta feel like you're actually an adult doing things, right? And you're not just trying to sell your mixtape online. Or at least that's what like we kind of trick ourselves into thinking. But I don't think that that's really the case, and James Murphy proves that. I watched this interview with James Murphy like years ago, but the thing is that I don't think it really resonated with me until I rewatched it a couple days ago. He's talking about how like in his life, up until the point that he made Losing My Edge, he's like kind of did absolutely nothing. He did fucking jack shit, dude. And it took him 32 years to create something that actually kickstarted his career. And to be honest, man, 32 at Losing My Edge, like that's not even his best piece of work. All right, let's map out his life real quick. At age 35, that didn't work. Probably about like right there. That is when he released his self-titled album, LCD Soundsystem. 2007, he releases Sound of Silver. 37 years old. 48% of his life done. That's fucking old, bro. I don't know people that are 37, dude. 3 years later, out 2010, He's 40, bro. He's 40 when he releases This Is Happening. 40 years old, and he releases what some people consider to be his best album of all time. And you know what's beautiful about this? 6 years later, when he was 46, 60% done with his life, he worked with David Bowie on an album. David Bowie's very last album, Black Star. That shit would not have happened if he did not make something right here at 32 years old. I'm 24. Sometimes I feel like my life's over. Sometimes I feel like I don't got that shit figured out. Sometimes I feel like a shithead for not making something like Losing My Edge yet. But I failed to realize that there's still an 8-year gap here between James Murphy making his first single and me currently in this physical state of form. You wanna know everything that I've done in 8 years? Probably not, but I'm gonna write it down. I was 16 years old, okay? Pardon my shitty handwriting here, but if we take a look at everything that I've done since I was 16 years old, it's a fucking lot. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different albums. I have 3 different YouTube channels. I got the music review channel that I stopped and started so many times and built an audience and fucking said fuck you to the audience and left. My personal channel that I've done some really fun things on, like making an entire documentary about me learning how to box and boxing my father. I have a channel where I talk about politics that I haven't really uploaded on a lot. I'm still figuring that out, but you know, That's the thing that happened. I have my own business, technically. I'm a freelance marketing guy. I don't like to call it my own business, but it is technically my own business. And then I dropped out of school. I dropped out of school at 19. At 23 years old, I went back to school, and I'm currently back in school. That's a fucking lot, man. That's a lot of shit that I've done since 16 years old. So if that's in 8 years. An 8 year gap between here to here. Who knows what I can do. What I want to do. This year I came up with an idea to write a movie, okay? Like write a screenplay, and you know, if all things can go according to plan, I would direct it too. And honestly, the character is written for me to play, so I would act in it too. Fucking pretty ambitious goal, all right? But all we gotta do is write that shit and figure it out. And you know what? I've got fucking time to figure it out. I'm right here in my life. That's a shitty arrow, but you get the point. That's a lot of fucking space. I can figure that shit out within this point to this point. I came up with an idea the other day to write a book. It's a fucking full-on research project, all right? Like an ethnographic type research project where I have to insert myself into other people's lives for an extended period of time so I can understand how a certain situation has affected their lives. And I was thinking about this, I was like, damn dude, this sounds like a lot of fucking work. This seems like, you know, this would take me like 5 years of research and then maybe like another year or two to write. But then think about it, if it takes me 7 years to write this book, I would be 31. I wouldn't be losing my edge yet. I want to do an interview show maybe at some point. I don't know, it seems like a fun idea, like an Adam Friedland type shit. You know, that seems like a lot of fun. More music, all right? More A-Rex music, Alexander Radio's experiment shit. And then also other projects, all right? You know, the past couple of days, I started working on something. You guys might hear me sing again, all right? I'll just say it up front. You might hear me sing again. Where am I going with this? This whole month I've been feeling kind of creatively uninspired, of not really knowing exactly what to do. And not only not knowing what to do, but also kind of feeling like maybe reality is kind of starting to hit me and maybe I should, you know, be a little bit more realistic with like my goals in my life. But why? If this is all that I've done from 16 to 24 in 8 years, the same amount of time from my life to when James Murphy made Losing My Edge, I wonder, you know, how much I will be able to create in another 8 years. I guess what I'm saying is it's not too late to make something great. And I don't think you should let your age, no matter how old you are, kind of get you down. I don't think you should sit there and think about, damn bro, I'm fucking 30 years old, I haven't done shit. Or maybe I have done shit and it just hasn't taken off. Look, nobody knows who the fuck I am. That's not gonna stop me from creating. There's so much time left in your life, so do something with it.